reasonably early start this morning, on the road by about 7:30, and much of today has been a bit like this. A few locks. First 20 kilometers was uphill, but can you really call it uphill on a canal? Perhaps not. But from now on it's mostly downhill. I know there is one nasty little climb when I come off the canal for a brief period to go around private land, but that won't be much of a problem. Typically I was looking for somewhere to eat the croissants that I'd bought early this morning, and giving up on finding a little cafe where I could have a cup of chocolate or something to go with it. I stopped just short, I think probably less than a kilometre short of a very nice little place. Would have done nicely, but c'est la vie. So meet all sorts of cyclists along the route, and just in case you're thinking that this is for hardcore people only, here's a family, and they've passed me bonjour, bonjour, while I was having my breakfast, and I think they're just taking a pause waiting for somebody. I think I passed him earlier and he muttered something which I didn't quite understand, and I think they're waiting for him. I think he was asking me to tell them to stop, but they were actually doing that anyway, so that's all good. Every now and again you come across something which is just lovely and worth shooting. That's where I've come from. Looks like a little chapel or something over there with a little house. Maybe that was a parsonage at one stage, but clearly not now. I wonder if the church is still functioning. Probably not. There we go. So you probably can't see it because you can't see the ripples on the water, but it's actually raining. Fortunately, under the trees here on the towpath, I'm completely in the shade from it and dry as a bone. So for those of you that are interested in costs, my cost yesterday came to $15. That was, sorry, 15 euros. That was $7.50 for an English breakfast on the boat, which was worth every penny. The full Monty minus black pudding, and I think French chefs can be forgiven the black pudding. I mean to say, really, it's a bit much even to ask of a French chef to understand an English breakfast, let alone black pudding with it. But anyway, €2 for the loaf of bread I bought, and it was €6.50 for the campsite. So in total €15 from a budget of €100 a day. So I've got some money in the bank there for when I want to splash out on a little bit more comfort in an hotel or something in a few days' time. Not sure whether up to now this canal has been navigable. Seen a number of trees fallen down, but as you can see coming up in the distance, there's a boat on the canal. So clearly although this is not probably a working canal with industrial barges and things, it's clearly something that is used for leisure, and I suspect up to this point it's been mostly canoes and kayaks and things, but clearly from here onwards, there's a campsite over there, look, and obviously got a few visitors and obviously a boat or two. Yeah. Here we go. So, enjoying the ride so far and looking forward to finding somewhere for lunch. So it's 11:30 and I'm just over halfway to my destination at Pontivy today, and I'm looking for somewhere for lunch, and this little roadside cafe just off the trail by about 50 meters is where I'm going to have lunch. There's actually a really nice pub just on the other side of the bridge down there, but unfortunately the restaurant's only open in the evenings. Anyway, there we go. Now on the other side here, and I'll show you this a bit later when I leave because we can't really see it from here, there's an enormous old ruin, and I don't know what's been going on or what's about to go on, but they've obviously just had or are about to have something, some big sort of event here. Anyway, here we go. So for those people who are interested in food, this is lunch for me today. Pretty straightforward, chicken and chips. There were other things on the menu, beef and lamb. I didn't fancy the beef, to be honest with you. I can't digest it any longer, and I went for the chicken rather than the lamb today. Maybe I'll go for the lamb tomorrow. Anyway, there we go. 15 euros. Now, this is the view that I promised to show you. That's the other little cafe restaurant that's in this little area. But the restaurant, as I said, is only open in the evening, so unable to have anything to eat there. And while I'm showing you the ruins where I think the event has already taken place, that's it there, and as you can see there are some seats in the foreground. But while you're looking at that, I don't know what it is about the French and food, but I don't know what you thought when you saw that meal. You probably thought, oh, that's just chicken and chips, it doesn't look much, certainly for 15 euros, and actually it was 13 euros, not 15. But it tasted unbelievably nice. The herbs that they use, I have no idea what herbs they were using, or indeed how they cooked it and how they may have managed to keep it so moist. But it was an absolute pleasure. So I've just climbed a wicked little hill to come off the canal, which is necessary to go around private land. Canal being down there somewhere, where actually there's a big lake, which is probably why it's all a private land. Anyway, as I was puffing and panting going up the hill, I went past a tandem with a couple on it, and would quite like to have filmed them, but I didn't, because not only was I puffing and panting, probably incapable of filming, but they were, let me just say, exchanging words. And although I couldn't understand exactly what they were saying, it was quite clear that those words were not particularly amicable. Anyway, having owned a tandem and ridden it with my then darling wife Sarah, I can hazard a fairly good guess at what that exchange of words was probably about, and if my assumption is fairly bold, I passed a couple this morning going in the other direction and just happened to notice that the lady on the back was both hands on her smartphone, texting away, and I probably put a fiver on the fact that she might have been texting her girlfriends saying what great fun it is on a tandem and how they should get one because it's so easy riding. I suspect she fails to mention that you actually need a man on the front to pedal it. Anyway, I've said that in the knowledge that a little less than a week ago, or a little more than a week ago, it was a woman that won the transcontinental race from Istanbul to Brest, so I need to be more careful what I say. But anyway, there it is. All more fun anyway. Not far to go now to my final destination for the day, so I thought I'd just take the last clip. It's been like this most of the day, on and off, pretty good going. Can't complain about the surface at all. Actually, the smooth gravel that I'm on now is actually better than some of the hard surface I've been on, which is showing its age a bit broken up in places. So there we go. Okay, signing off.